Welcome into today's edition of Just the Truth. Glad to have you join me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. We have a lot to cover today. Former UN ambassador and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, in her first public comments since announcing the end of her 2024 Republican White House campaign, said that she will in fact vote for former President Trump in his 2024 rematch with President Joe Biden. We have the details on Nikki Haley's comments at the Hudson Institute in the nation's capital yesterday. Newly released messages from the House Ways and Means Committee appear to show that Hunter Biden is had proposed a meeting in New York City between the boss of a Chinese energy company and his dad, Joe Biden, who was the former vice president at the time, along with his uncle, Jim Biden. And a new Bloomberg News Morning Consult survey asking voters from key states who they would vote for in the upcoming presidential election found that Trump is leading Biden 48 to 44% across 7 key swing states that have come into play. Also, do endorsements mean anything? With the 2024 general election less than 6 months away, both President Biden and former President Trump will be eyeing critical endorsements that could put them over the top in November. We have some of the names that have surfaced on that list. And South Carolina Representative John McCravey joins me today to talk about the upcoming Faith and Family Legislative Conference to be held at the North Greenville University on Saturday. It's a free event, and we have all the details for you here on Just the Truth.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Newly released messages from the House Ways and Means Committee appear to show that Hunter Biden was proposing a meeting in New York City between the boss of a Chinese energy company and his dad, Joe Biden, who at the time was the former vice president. And he had Uncle Jim Biden involved as well. A text that was released that was dated December 12th, 2017 says, "Can you meet this evening early?" Now, he was asking Yadong Liu, CEO of CEFC Global Strategic Holdings. It was a poorly punctuated text message, like a lot of Hunter Biden's work. Says, "My father will be in New York also, and he wants me to attend the Sandy Hook Memorial Service with him, and I would like him to meet you along with my uncle, and then you and I can talk. Let me know if that works. I'm sorry for the late notice. I got off the red eye in Baltimore from L.A. and take a little nap before I got his message," Hunter added. Yadong told Hunter no problem and asked to let him know when and where to meet. Now, less than 2 weeks after the proposed meeting among the 4 individuals, Hunter Biden messaged Yadong asking Yadong to call him, saying he was anxiously waiting for his report from a meeting in China. He said, "I'm still in China. Apologies for not getting back to you sooner, but I knew that you would have been talking to Kevin," Yadong said. He's appearing to reference CEFC China energy executive and named Gongwen Dong. He said, "I didn't get to see the chairman on this trip, but President Chen asked me to convey to you that while we attach great importance to working with you, under the current circumstances, it's almost impossible to move forward on any of the projects with you. There are a few key dates in the next weeks, and we are focused on those legal challenges and cannot afford to do anything that have any potential of being misunderstood or misconstrued. He sincerely hopes you can understand our situation and looks forward to removing those legal uncertainties and working with you again," Yadong continued. "I'm coming back next week and can meet to explain face-to-face if necessary. Thank you." Now, it's unclear as to whether or not this meeting ever took place. It seemed pretty definite when you read those emails, doesn't it? But the House Ways and Means Committee did not release anything that would, beyond a reasonable doubt, point towards an actual meeting. A former Hunter Biden business associate slammed the Biden family in a statement to Fox News Digital about this exchange between Hunter and Yadong, saying, "This is a great exhibit of their nonsense and lies. Yet another example of them just blatantly lying to the American public," the former Hunter Biden associate added. Hunter's uncle emailed Hunter with Yadong in the subject line of this email the day after the proposed meeting. Again, it's unclear what the context was. A Town and Country magazine profile piece and photos from a gala match up with the time frame of Joe Biden being in New York City on the evening of December 12th, 2017. So it's pretty evident that Joe Biden was, in fact, in New York City on this date. Just not sure if this meeting took place. I'm going to speculate it probably did, but that's pure speculation on my part. In addition to these messages, though, between Hunter and Yadong, a photo of Yadong's business card was included in a document released by the House Ways and Means Committee as well. Yadong was chosen to be the CEO of CEFC in March of 2014 and was also listed as the general manager according to a 2016 Securities and Exchange Commission filing. The SEC filing said Mr. Liu started his career in the Chinese Foreign Ministry, where he was a diplomat and a top interpreter for Chinese leader. Mr. Liu holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Language and Literature from Beijing Foreign Studies University, and he goes on to list his other degrees. The Chinese Foreign Ministry's main function is running diplomatic affairs on behalf of the state and the government and handling diplomatic activities between leaders of the Communist Party of China and the state and foreign leaders, according to the ministry's website. Now, Hunter Biden's alleged proposal for a meeting between his father and Mr. Yadong wouldn't have been the first time that Joe Biden met with a top executive at CEFC. Hunter Biden's former business partner, Rob Walker, said in a transcribed interview earlier this year that Joe Biden showed up at the Four Seasons Hotel in a restaurant in a private room in Washington, D.C., and addressed nearly a dozen CEFC-linked executives during his visit, including Chairman Ying Javing, who Hunter Biden sent his best wishes to on behalf of the entire Biden family in an infamous 2017 email. I mean, Hunter Biden, he was playing it up with these folks because he wanted their money, and he knew that his dad's influence was special to them. They wanted to buy influence, and they had the money to do it. And Hunter Biden was going to facilitate it for them. Biden wrote in the June 2017 email, "I hope my letter finds you well. I regret missing you on your last visit to the United States. Please accept the best wishes from the entire Biden family as well as my partners. We're all hoping to see you here again soon or in Shanghai," he added. That same year, Jaming allegedly gave Hunter Biden a 3.16 carat diamond worth about $80,000. Well, why would this guy give Hunter Biden a diamond of that size? I'm sure he knew that Hunter would cash it in. He'd take it to his local pawn shop and get whatever he could for it. Mr. Walker went on to detail what Joe Biden's presence at the meeting was about, saying that he wasn't there the entire meeting. He said, "I don't think we had structured a deal on how to work together at this point," noting that the meeting lasted probably about an hour and a half. He said Biden was not there for the entirety of the meeting. The former vice president, he was there maybe 10 minutes, Walker said. He spoke nice, normal pleasantries. I think he probably did most of the talking, and then he left. But that's typical of these type meetings. You want the person of influence to just kind of show up, and that's what Joe Biden was doing. Hunter was parading his dad into this meeting, showing these Chinese officials, well, my dad here, he'll take care of things for us. I just want to show you that I can get him in the room with you. Walker also testified that the visit and Biden's appearance likely took place before his Robinson Walker LLC, one of the many LLCs that Hunter Biden and the Biden family set up, received $3 million from State Energy HK Limited, a CEFC-linked entity, but he maintained that Joe Biden was not involved in any of his business ventures with Hunter. Now, how could he make that statement knowing that Joe Biden had attended so many of these meetings? Why did he think Joe Biden was there? Surely he wasn't naive enough to think that Hunter was getting his dad involved in these meetings to peddle influence. Now, of course, President Joe Biden has repeatedly insisted that he's had no knowledge of what his son's foreign business dealings were, but records show that he met with more than a dozen of Hunter Biden's business associates, foreign and domestic, but yet he knows nothing about it. Some of these associates and top staffers at Hunter Biden's now defunct company visited the Obama White House more than 90 times when Joe Biden was vice president. 90 times Hunter Biden took some of his top business associates to the White House to see his dad, and who knows who else. But you had Biden telling Fox News reporter Peter Doocy, remember the infamous exchange where he jabbed his finger in Ducey's face on the campaign trail in Iowa in 2019 when he said, "I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. You should be looking at Trump. Trump's doing this because he knows I'll beat him like a drum. Everybody's looked at it and said there's nothing there. Ask the right question," he said to Peter Doocy. Biden said again a month later in October of 2019, "I don't discuss business with my son." In the fall of 2023, Hunter's attorney claimed that Hunter did not share his business or his profits with his father, marking another shift in the narrative, responding to allegations that link Joe Biden to his son's business dealings. There have been a number of reports published that contradict Joe Biden and the White House's claims. The House Oversight Committee released a report earlier this year claiming that Joe Biden met with nearly every foreign business associate who paid the Biden family, but yet he knows nothing about the business. Think about that. We know for sure, without a doubt, that a number of Chinese companies, Ukrainian companies, paid Hunter Biden and Jim Biden money, millions of dollars. Is it a coincidence that Joe Biden met with every single one of them at some point in time, but yet he says he knows nothing about the business dealings of his son and his brother? It's laughable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. There's no way that Joe Biden sees 90 different people that were involved in his son's business dealings, but yet he doesn't have any idea of what Hunter Biden was up to and what these meetings were about. Not possible. Your text messages are welcome, as are your emails. Joey@joeyhudson.com. Love to hear what you think about it. Talking to a good friend the other day, and he mentioned that he has started taking the weight loss injection drug that was initially made to treat type 2 diabetes. He said he's losing weight, but the day after he takes the injection, he is so sick he can't leave the house. That got me thinking. Most of us go on a weight loss journey so that we can feel better and get healthy. Folks, losing weight should not make you sick. I can tell you firsthand, 4 years ago when I started PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, I was never hungry or agitated. I never felt sick. In fact, I felt great the very first week. The PhD side effects are better sleep, more energy, smaller clothes, and a general sense of well-being. Getting healthy should not make you sick, and it shouldn't make you dependent on a drug either. Simply put, PhD is freedom. You will not be dependent on a drug because there are no drugs. You'll learn to eat for your body, and you won't gain the weight back. They have a lifetime maintenance program, and PhD teaches you to trust yourself and your knowledge. Call them today, 864-252-4925. Find them online at myphdweightloss.com. That's 864-252-4925. Hope you'll join the conversation today. 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Send your comments to the Furman Ford text line. You can leave a quick voice message, and your emails are always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. The South Carolina legislature wrapped up their session Thursday, May 9th. They'll return to Columbia to finalize the budget and a few other items this summer. There are a number of different caucuses that make up the General Assembly. There's the Democrat caucus, there's the Republican caucus, the Black Legislative Caucus, the Freedom Caucus. But I would argue that one of the most important in the South is the South Carolina Family Caucus. On our guest line today, the man who is the moderator of that caucus from Greenwood, Representative John McCravey. Welcome. How are you, sir?
Joey, I'm doing great. and it's so good to hear your voice back on the air.
Well, it is good to be back on for sure. First off, why are you considered the moderator? Isn't the caucus, wouldn't you typically call you chairman of the caucus? Why are you called the moderator of the family caucus?
Well, that's a good question, Joey, and I'm kind of the founder of it. And back in 2017, when we got it started, I wanted to stay humble, as always, and the idea of being a chairman, to me, I don't know, it just has other maybe implications, but moderator sounds like you're trying to help everybody, and that's really what I want to do as the leader of this caucus. I want to help other people sponsor good bills and watch them. It's just kind of like a team effort. I want everybody on the team to get a hit.
Right. Sure.
So I don't want to be the star. I want to be the person that's helping other people show up and do a great job.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. That's give us a quick overview of what the Family Caucus is all about. And you said that you were the founder of this. What gave you the idea of starting a Family Caucus?
Well, Joey, in 2017, which was my first year of serving, I heard, many Christian voices in the House of Representatives, but there was no organization for those voices. And so the Lord kept telling me and prompting me to start to organize. And so we organized as Christians. That first year, I went around and we had I think the first day we had about 17 people who said, look, we want to be a part. They agreed. We want to be a part of a Christian fellowship within the House of Representatives. So that's how we got started.
Yeah. How many members do you currently have in the Family Caucus, and how does that work? Do you invite legislators to join? Do they ask to join? How do you determine who's in the Family Caucus?
Well, that's a good question too, Joey. We now have 50 members. We have 5 senators and 45 House members in the caucus, and we actually have some ex officio members who served and helped us out, like, for instance, Gary Smith, who's no longer in the caucus, but he certainly was a huge influence and still helps us. But it's kind of both. We've had some people apply, and we have an executive committee that sort of examines those, and then we've had people we've gone out and said, hey, you need to apply, so like Senator Rickenbach. I mean, he's a great guy, and we're happy to welcome him in the caucus here this year.
Yeah.
So that's about how it works.
Yeah. On our guest line this morning, Representative John McCravy from Greenwood. He represents the 13th District in the South Carolina House of Representatives and is the moderator of the Family Caucus. The Family Caucus has been successful supporting a number of previous bills that have become law. Give a few examples of the important legislation that you've introduced, and then talk with us about maybe some of the current legislation that you're supporting. Maybe didn't quite make it through this session, but you're looking forward to next session.
Yes, sir, I will do that. We had, our first big bill, of course, was the heartbeat bill, and that was back in 2018. I think is when we filed it, and got passed in 2019 in the House of Representatives, and so that was number one. Since then, we've been certainly pro-life has been our top agenda item. We passed heartbeat bill number 2. Last year, we defunded Planned Parenthood in the budget as much as you possibly can. We passed in the House the abortion reversal pill disclosure bill. Representative O'Remus passed that. It never made it through the Senate. But one big thing we've done is get funding for crisis pregnancy centers in our state. So that's been a big thing when it comes to life. I talk about life, liberty, faith, and family. On the liberty side, we got the MEDS Act passed to protect some of these healthcare workers from having to violate their own religious beliefs in some of these controversial procedures. We've elected conservative judges. We were behind the ESG issue. We got behind that and got that passed. And, Billy Garrett sponsored the Motto Act after Mike Burns had done that for many, many years. And Mike Burns is to be congratulated, but we got that passed in 2022. We got the Religion is Essential Act through. Representative Yao, who's a member of the caucus and also a pastor, sponsored that bill. We got, Save Women's Sports. Ashley Trantham, Representative Trantham, was the sponsor on that. And that was a big fight. We finally got that passed in 2022, but it took 2 years to do it. And I was right there in the middle of it, man. It was quite a knockdown, drag out.
Yeah.
We got the fentanyl felony. Representative Gilliam passed the fentanyl felony bill last year to crack down on these drug dealers. I mean, the help not harm this year. This year we had two really good priority bills that got passed. Davey Hite sponsored the help not harm bill. Representative Hite. Also, Representative Stuart Jones was the first one to call our attention to that bill, and he was in our family caucus. Also, we've got the Representative Travis Moore from Spartanburg took on the Child Online Safety Act, and that was passed the last day of session. We had to pull out some political capital to get that passed, but we got it passed, and the Senate helped us get it through, and we got it back and got it passed. So that would require strict age verification for these porn sites and these bad websites. And what we've seen is when they're required to verify that a person is over 18, then they just quit.
Yeah.
And so we're glad for them to quit. We want them to quit in South Carolina.
Sure.
So
sure.
these are just some of the things we've done, Joey.
Well, that's a long list. You guys have certainly been busy the past few years for sure. This Saturday, you have a conference coming up at North Greenville University, a who's who list of speakers, the Faith and Family Legislative Conference. Talk with us a minute. We literally have about a minute or so left about the conference and who can attend, how you can be involved.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this conference. This is an inaugural thing that we've done for the first time, but we have put together an all-star group of people nationwide. We've got Carol Tobias, the National Right to Life president, coming. And this is to raise awareness of the fight for our family. We're in a fight for the family and for our nation. And so we want to showcase some of these people who are doing this right here in South Carolina at North Greenville University on Saturday morning. It's only 3 hours. But we've got Carol Tobias coming. We've got Steve Pettit, the new president of Palmetto Family Council. They've been such an influence in our state for the good. We've got the ADF State Government Relations Director over all the states for Alliance Defending Freedom, Tanya Shelnut, coming. And, they've done such great work defending people with religious liberty all over our nation. We've got the State Director for Heritage Action of America, James Quarles, coming. And he's going to talk about what they do. And he was instrumental in this Child Online Safety Act, getting that passed. Jason Rapert, my friend, Senator Rapert from Arkansas, who is the founder of the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, which I've been a part of. I'm the South Carolina chair, and it's such a good, encouraging group that you can go to every year and hear about Christian conservative legislation and see the model laws be passed in that organization. Yeah. Also, we have this year somebody I haven't met. I've met all the other ones, but Ben Quine from a new group I was unaware of till recently called Christians Engaged, and they're all about getting our Christian constituents to pray, vote, and get engaged in the process. So this is how we're going to have to fight back, Joey. We're going to have to take our nation back. And this is just a great encouragement and an awareness time It's only 3 hours, so it only goes from 9 to 12 on Saturday morning at North Greenville University. But everybody is invited. The whole public is invited. It's free. The conference is free. And you can go to, if you want to sign up, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can go to scfamilycaucus.org and register. So we look forward to this, and we're very excited.
Yep, it's going to be a great morning at North Greenville University, scfamilycaucus.org, scfamilycaucus.org. Representative John McCravey, it's always a pleasure. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate what you do in our state legislature.
Thank you, Joe, and we appreciate what you do.
Sure thing. Hope you'll join the conversation today. 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Send your comments to the Furman Ford text line. You can leave a quick voice message, and your emails are always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Whether you're replacing a broken appliance or maybe you're just upgrading, you're totally remodeling the kitchen, when it's time to get those new appliances, when you're ready for them, you don't want to have to wait weeks or even months to get started using them, right? Well, that's not the case when you shop with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse. With over 11,000 square feet and 1,500 appliances at any given time, you can buy today and use today quite often. I'm talking about shopping with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse in Pickens. It's worth the short drive over to Pickens. Jeff, Johnny, Kyle, the whole team over there, they'll take good care of you. They have an award-winning service department, expert installation, extended warranties, and at Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they treat you like family. You're more than just a credit card swipe to all the team over there. Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they're proud to offer Speed Queen, the only washer and dryers with manufacturer's warranties that cover parts and labor. You owe it to yourself, if you're looking for a new appliance, to head over to Pickens to Discounted Appliance Warehouse online at dawpickens.com, dawpickens.com. So let's start with former South Carolina governor, I should say, Nikki Haley. In her first public comment since announcing the end of her 2024 Republican White House campaign, said that she will vote for former President Trump in his 2024 rematch with Joe Biden. Haley, who was Trump's last rival in the GOP primaries before suspending her campaign more than 2 months ago, and who has not endorsed the former president. She wasn't one to quickly, like other candidates who dropped out or suspended their campaigns, most immediately endorsed Donald Trump. Haley did not. She was asked during a question and answer session following her address yesterday at a conservative think tank, the Hudson Institute, in the nation's capital, whether Biden or Trump was stronger on national security issues and who she would be supporting.
So when I listened to your speech, it had a natural symmetry to it. And to be a bit reductionist, you opened with some comments on the administration and the Democratic Party. You then talked a little bit about some of the shortcomings or worries you have about the Republican Party. And I couldn't help but think of two names when I heard you deliver that speech, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So on these issues, these national security critical issues that you've described today, who do you think would do a better job in the White House, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
As a voter, I put my priorities on a president who's going to have the backs of our allies and hold our enemies to account, who would secure the border, no more excuses, a president who would support capitalism and freedom, a president who understands we need less debt, not more debt. Trump has not been perfect on these policies. I've made that clear many, many times. But Biden has been a catastrophe. So I will be voting for Trump. Having said that, I stand by what I said in my suspension speech. Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who voted for me and continue to support me, and not assume that they're just going to be with him. And I genuinely hope he does that.
Is Haley right? She's continued to grab up to 20% or so of the vote in Republican presidential primaries since we really have stopped paying attention to votes in the Republican primary. Do you agree with Nikki Haley that Donald Trump should, when she said Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who have continued to support Nikki Haley? Is she right? Just a little quick review here. Haley launched her presidential campaign in February of last year. Now, she had previously stated she would not run against Trump if, in fact, he chose to run again. She, of course, reneged on that promise. But she was the first major candidate to challenge Trump, who had announced his candidacy about 3 months before she did. She was the final rival against Trump, battling the former president in a contentious two-candidate showdown from New Hampshire primary in late January through Super Tuesday in early March, when she finally threw in the towel. Haley announced that she was suspending her White House campaign on March the 6th, the day after Trump swept 14 of 15 GOP nominating contests on Super Tuesday. However, she made it clear when she left the Republican presidential nomination race that she intended to keep speaking out, and to date, Haley has declined to endorse Donald Trump until she apparently did this week at the Hudson Institute yesterday. Haley said that she got out of the race 2 months ago. It's now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him, and I hope he does that. Now, reacting to Haley's comments yesterday, the Biden campaign, who has been trying to win over some of the independent votes that have been voting in some of the Republican primaries for Nikki Haley. In a statement, Michael Tyler from the Biden campaign communications office said, "Nothing has changed for the millions of Republican voters who continue to cast their ballots against Donald Trump in the primaries and care deeply about the future of our democracy, standing strong with our allies against foreign adversaries and working across the aisle to get things done for the American people, while also rejecting the chaos, division, and violence that Donald Trump embodies. Only one candidate shares those values, and only one campaign is working hard every day to earn their support, and that's President Joe Biden," they said in the statement. During her speech yesterday, Haley targeted Biden and some Republicans in Congress, but she didn't mention Trump by name during the speech. Instead, Haley said that a growing number of Democrats and Republicans have forgotten what makes America safe. Haley made her comments as she gave her first address at the Washington, D.C.-based Hudson Institute, again, a conservative think tank known for focusing on international affairs and national security. Haley, who during her White House run advocated for a very muscular U.S. foreign policy, she's always wanted to deal from the standpoint of being strong, showing our allies that we will stand behind them, that we will support them, and showing our adversaries that we won't run from a fight. She was most critical of Biden, talking specifically about Biden's temporary pause of a shipment of heavy bombs to Israel and not supporting Israel the way that we should be as a longtime ally of God's people. But I get back to my original question. Is Haley right? Should Donald Trump be paying more attention to those people, that 20% who has been voting for her in these primaries in the past few weeks? We have forgotten about the presidential primaries. We forgot about them after the Super Tuesday, right? But Haley may have a point that Trump needs to be courting those 20% who continue to pull the lever by her name, even though they know that she's out of the race. Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Love to hear your take on that. Speaking of the Furman Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Furman Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Furman Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Furman, Matthew Furman. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Furman Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Furman Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Furman Ford online at furmanford.com, furmanford.com. I'm on the text line. Texter says, Faye, this is from Faye, there's a perfect saying that fits the Democrat Party. Did you come with the answer, or are you part of the problem? I think we know the answer to that, Faye. Ask a little tougher questions next time. Susan says there's an easy workaround to commie California's excise tax on guns and ammo. Go to a neighboring state and buy them. That's right. Come to South Carolina. We'll sell you some guns and ammo without the, what was it, 11-12% excise tax that California's getting to ready to add. A text of encouragement today from Joel says, the key to happiness is having dreams. The key to success is making them come true. Your comments are welcome as well on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 71307. Do endorsements mean anything to you? Does it matter to you when you're trying to make your final decision on who you're going to vote for? Do you listen to other influential type people, maybe even other elected officials? You know, we're in that period of time right now as we head into the June 11th primary in South Carolina. Other primaries in neighboring states as well, coming up in June. And we're getting all these endorsements. And the candidates are very quick to point out, well, this person endorsed me, or this person is going to endorse me. We've seen from the top levels down, Governor Henry McMaster here in South Carolina has endorsed a number of different people. Of course, Donald Trump, he endorses particularly those in congressional races quite often. And you see people spending a lot of money. A lot of these congressional candidates, when Donald Trump endorses them, they suddenly, there's a photo of them with Trump on posters. There's radio spots, which, hey, you can't buy enough radio spots or podcasts. You hear them in podcasts as well. TV spots, and mailings. They put a lot of emphasis on the fact that I'm the only candidate endorsed by X. But does it really matter? Do you care? Have you ever, can you honestly say that you have voted for someone because they were endorsed by someone? The Hill had an article yesterday talking about the fact that with the 2024 general election less than 6 months away, both President Biden and President Trump are going to be eyeing critical endorsements that could potentially put them over the top in November. Again, experts and voters question the influence that these endorsements have. Figures who are popular with one party or maybe the country at large can act as key surrogates for the candidates, traveling around the country, giving speeches in support of them. Most top Democrats and Republicans have already backed their party's presumptive nominees. Several other major endorsements may come in the coming weeks. But here are some of the endorsements that thehill.com says you should be waiting for and looking for. And these are some unlikely ones, for example. One of the ones is Nikki Haley. And we just learned that Nikki Haley, although it wasn't a planned endorsement, during her speech at the Hudson Institute, Nikki Haley finally said yesterday that she's going to be voting for Donald Trump. Now, she said that she was going to be holding off, at least for now, on endorsing Trump. She apparently, and again, I don't know if she meant to or if this was one of those calculated things. You know, quite often to try to downplay such announcements, they'll just kind of let it presumably slip. Quite often, you know, that they'll hold a big news conference to try to gather a large crowd to pronounce their endorsement. Nikki Haley didn't seem to do that. But some of the others that the Hill talked about, in addition to Nikki Haley, Taylor Swift. Perhaps one of the most, according to The Hill, most anticipated potential endorsements of the 2024 cycle is for an individual outside of politics whom Forbes called one of the world's most powerful women. Taylor Swift has, of course, achieved international superstar status. She's probably a billionaire. She sells out concerts across the U.S. and around the world. And she has occasionally ventured into political advocacy. Swift endorsed Joe Biden for president shortly before the 2020 election, saying that she believed Biden and now Vice President Harris would start a healing process for the country. Well, Taylor, how's that worked out for you? How's that worked out for the country? I'd love to get her take now. You think Taylor Swift is going to endorse Joe Biden again? She not only endorsed Joe Biden, she spoke out against Trump ahead of Election Day in 2020. Biden's campaign has reportedly been actively seeking Swift's endorsement, and her support could give him a much-needed boost in enthusiasm among younger voters. We'll see. Beyonce, another entertainer, another superstar outside of politics, probably one of the most influential or as influential as Swift. She's already holding the record for the most Grammy wins of any artist. She's gained more praise along with some backlash for her expansion into country music with one of her most recent albums, Cowboy Carter. Beyonce has been more active in politics than Taylor Swift. She and her husband, Jay-Z, helped raise millions of dollars for Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. Both performed at a concert supporting Hillary Clinton just before Election Day in 2016. Beyonce also endorsed Joe Biden just before election in 2020, posting on Instagram a photo of her wearing a Biden-Harris mask and a "I voted" sticker on a hat. Again, do you care who Beyonce endorses? Do you care who Taylor Swift endorses? I would say that if, in fact, they're voters who vote for a particular candidate just because Taylor Swift or Beyonce endorse them, that's what Donald Trump would call a low education voter, right? Some of the others that the Hill mentioned in this article is Chris Christie. They said from a close ally to one of Trump's top opponents, Chris Christie entered the 2024 race already refusing to commit to supporting Trump if he became the nominee. He said in February that he would not vote for Trump under any circumstances. He has kept the door open to supporting Biden, but signaled he isn't ready to commit yet. Christie said last month that Biden has not reached out to him since he dropped out to ask for his support, which he said Biden should still do. So I guess Christie wants Joe Biden to come groveling to him to ask for his support. Again, who cares who Chris Christie supports? And if Chris Christie does endorse Joe Biden, he should never be allowed to run for a GOP nomination again, period, end of sentence. He shouldn't be part of the Republican Party. If anybody on Hill's list is Mitt Romney as well. Senator Romney has been one of the congressional Republicans most willing to criticize Trump in either chamber. And he said that he won't support Trump again this year. He cast a write-in vote for his wife during the 2016 race and avoided voting for Trump again in 2020. He told MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle in an interview this month that he will not vote for Trump, saying that character is the top issue for him. What's he think about the condition our country is in? Again, Mitt Romney is one of those who the GOP just does not need. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined our mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Just click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, find me on YouTube. Be sure and like, subscribe, follow me on my YouTube channel. Just search for Joey Hudson. Appreciate you spending a few minutes of your day with me. Be sure and forward this edition of Just the Truth to some friends. Just click on the share button. Send it to a few of your contacts, because if we're going to build our community and we're going to win in the June primaries, and if we're going to win in November especially, we got to build an army of conservatives. The way we beat Joe Biden is through educating people And no better way than encouraging them to listen to just the truth. Hey, keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Your emails always welcome as well. Joey@joeyhudson.com. We're back again tomorrow. Hope you will be too. Remember, God's got this. He's still in control.